Hey, everybody! It's the Pearlo Wisdom Show, the NHL Pearlo Wisdom Show, coming to you live again, where we get the finest members in the land, like Lauren and Mercer and all the guys that come in here, some of the best people you can possibly find. Loving the group. Loving you guys that come in here every day and grace us with your presence and knowledge of hockey. So, what did we have? Okay, last night, I'm going to get right into last night. Hey, Mercer, how you doing? Well, first of all, I guess there was a little bit of news going on here. The heck? How come that's... Oh, that's right. Okay. There was a little bit of news. Christian Wolanin placed on waivers. That's not really news. Predators acquire Cole Sherwood from the Columbus Blue Jackets, which is funny because they're playing the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. Kiefer Sherwood, I should say, not Cole. Big guy. Hopefully he gets a chance up there now to play with the Nashville Predators. Easy for him just to kind of switch dressing rooms. That's pretty interesting. Tyler Bozak placed on COVID protocol tonight for the St. Louis Blues. And Bruce Cassidy also on COVID protocol. The Oilers at CC. It sounds like maybe the Oilers might be a team that is doing what the Islanders did and may have to cancel games. That's like half their defense is gone right now. Best in the land. That's right. The best in the land people here. Hajin, Mercer, Lauren, all of you guys. Amazing, amazing people. The Kings should claim him back. Oh, I don't think they would have had oh, maybe they would have. They could have, but they didn't. A lot of players are going to... Well, I think a lot of that has to do with, depth is important right now. You never know when COVID's going to creep up and you're going to have to start calling guys up from the minors. So I think a lot of teams are like preparing themselves for that possibility, like what just happened with the Oilers. And the Oilers are without CC, Nurse. Now, Nurse was COVID related, was it? It tells you here. And who was the other one? Oh, Duncan Keith, but that's injured reserve. Apparently, he was on COVID. He came on and was on the ice yesterday, and then was put on injured reserve. So I don't know what's going on there. That's weird. Drake Batherson is removed from COVID protocol, thankfully for the Ottawa Senators. That they're not the same team without Batherson there. That he is such an integral part to that team right now. I would actually think maybe they might be able to win a game or two now that they got him back. But without him in the lineup, they just don't look right at all. Yeah, but they're three, and that's the thing. The Canes are playing tonight against Dallas, and they are going to be using LeJoe. They didn't bring up Joey Keane. It was LeJoe, and who was the other one, Lauren? I'm looking at it right now. And Chatfield, Jalen Chatfield, right? LeJoe and Chatfield. So, should be interesting. Chatfield does have some playoff experience. LeJoe does too. He was an Ottawa draft pick. And never really made it. It looked like he might have been able to make it when he was in Ottawa. He had 56 games. 15 points was a minus 25. I mean, that was a terrible Ottawa team. And I don't know. He just kind of regressed after that. He's regressed, but he looks like he's had a decent year this year, and he put up some good points last year. This could be a really huge opportunity for Lejoux to maybe solidify himself in the lineup. Good day, Wayne Norton. Woo! Thanks for coming in, buddy. So we'll go through all the games for tonight and do our picks and stuff like that. But I wanted to take a look at some of the games from last night first. Kraken versus the Sabres, and it looks like the Sabres got to get a goaltender. They just don't have the. It's really taking the. It's really taking the steam out of them to not have a goaltender that can save a puck when they need it. They're fighting hard, but it's difficult when you can't rely on your goaltender. It's hard to put systems together. Jeff Skinner got his 7th goal last night, though. Mason Appleton got his first. And Seattle got their first shorty, and they got 2. Carson Soucy scores the first shorthanded goal in Seattle's history, and then Brandon Tanev pots another one right after that. Then Jared McCann, Jaden Schwartz got one, and Mason Appleton popped 2. Now, I was waiting for that offense to come from Mason Appleton. He was injured this year, but again, it all comes down to Buffalo, really. Tokarski's not the answer there in Buffalo, is he? Read your last comment. Sorry about that, buddy. I switched off to check out the games from last night. What was your last comment? Hey, got that. DeBrusk from Boston being traded. Yeah. It's not just a rumor. He has asked to be traded. Problem is, he has no value. I think the most they're going to get out of that is like a 3rd-round pick if they're lucky. All the Canes' defense except for Chatfield are left-handed shots. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. I don't know. When I played, I hated playing my offside on defense. It was so hard, way harder. There was a couple guys I played with were okay with it. They did all right, but almost everybody, it's difficult. It's hard to take the puck off your backhand. It's very awkward. That's why I think it's going to be a difficult time for Carolina tonight against Dallas, I think. But DeBrusk should change the title. Canucks trades are coming, but I think they probably are. So I like, where would DeBrusk go? I don't know who's going to give him a shot. There has been talk about the Oilers. Sherratt, a 2023 3rd-round pick. I think that's too much. DeBrusk is not going to bring back a 1st-round pick. No way. Especially Montreal. Especially the 2023, no way. DeBrusk for Sherratt, and that's it, maybe. And I know Sherratt's a free agent. But that would be, it's possible because Sherratt is a free agent that they could take a flyer on DeBrusk. But, I mean, he's been trash. Seriously, he's been bad. He's been really bad. Watching him in the lineup, he looks like he's floating all the time. I think you'll be lucky to get a third. You got to remember, DeBrusk already makes a pretty penny. What's he make? And he's got to be qualified. He's getting scratched right now. Like, Boston is not doing themselves any favor. And I'm sure they want to have him in the lineup. But if you watch him, he's terrible. But you know what? He's got 6 points in 17 games. I have a feeling that there's some philosophical problem with DeBrusk. Boston has done this before with guys where they're just not happy with the way they do their life or whatever the case may be. Maybe that's a possibility, but the way they've gone about it, they've really taken all their leverage away from the player. So there's too many question marks surrounding the kid now, which isn't even, he's not even really all that much of a kid anymore. What's he getting? 3.6, and he's 25 years old. So he's got to be qualified at over 4. He's got to be qualified at over $4 million. Yeah, I think there's a philosophical problem with his lifestyle. I'm just going to flat out say it. Boston has had this problem with young players before. And it's very likely that wherever he goes to, he'll be fine. Now, there's been talk about him going to Edmonton. And the reason why that talk would be, of course, is that his father played for Edmonton and is an analyst for the Edmonton Oilers. So, I don't know what Edmonton would give up in that deal. First of all, it would have to be some cap space going the other way. Edmonton Oilers, let's see. I won't be Yamamoto, I know that. I can't see them being that silly, but you never know. This is Kenny Holland we're talking about here. Maybe Zach Kassian? They're making about the same money? Maybe. Yeah, I have a feeling they like it's been with Sagan, Hamilton, a couple other guys that they're not happy with their lifestyle. I don't know what this lifestyle is, by the way. They brought in Jimmy Hayes for Smith, if you remember, after they made the Sagan trade. Smith was part of that deal. Smith of Vegas right now, Riley Smith, and they traded him to Florida for Jimmy Hayes, and Hayes was already known to be somewhat of a partier. So apparently the reason why they didn't like Sagan was because of his partying. I think it had more to do with social media. They have strict rules about lifestyle in Boston. And I think something has happened with DeBrusk, and he won't change it. He doesn't think he's doing anything wrong, and he wants out of there. And I have a feeling that he's asked to be traded a long time ago, but he never asked publicly, and it's just gone so long now where he has just said, I want out of here, period, publicly, to push it along so he gets moved. And in which case, they've taken all the leverage away from what they're going to get in return. But I could see the Edmonton Oilers giving him a shot. I could see them talking to his father. Now, when Louis played, Louis DeBrusk, Louis was a fighter, but he never wanted to be a fighter. And actually, there was some turmoil or dissension with Louis and the Oilers for the fact that there were certain times they figured that he should be fighting and he didn't. And he kind of made it public that he didn't like the idea that he was a fighter. And it really kind of hurt his career because he wasn't good enough to not be a fighter. Now, his son does appear to be good enough to at least be a second, third line winger. And maybe, given the opportunity to play with somebody like Draisaitl or McDavid, he could make the Bruins look really bad. It's possible, right? Yeah. CL, how you doing? Hajin, too many young players getting hot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Boston seems to be like a recycling bin for young players. So I would have to think there's something to this idea that there's a lifestyle issue there. You got to fit in to whatever that means to fit in to Boston. And I don't know what that is. I'd love to know what it is, but DeBrusk apparently doesn't. Greenway for Monahan? I'm pretty sure Calgary would be happy with that deal. But both of those guys have struggled. Monahan for different reasons than Greenway. Greenway just can't seem to get his offense going to save his life. And honestly, I don't notice him out there enough when he's playing. So I would say that he's playing passive. For a big guy like him, you should notice him a lot. But I think Calgary would take a chance on Greenway for Monahan right now. The problem with Monahan is I do believe he's got some term left there. I mean, that's a cool deal, by the way. Let me say right off the top, I think that's a cool deal. Give me more trade offers. Let's do that today. That's fun. I like doing that. Monahan, he's got 2 more years at 6. And then we know that Minnesota has all that cap room going to go away on them after next year because of the Suter and Parise contract. So I don't know if they can afford that deal. Now, Greenway, what's his contract look like? He's only got 3 assists this year, 2.1, and he's a free agent after this. I don't think Greenway is going to be able to command much more than he's making right now. So I don't think it works out cap-wise for Minnesota. That would be the problem with that, I think. It just wouldn't work out cap-wise, unless Minnesota was going to give up something else too. But that's a really interesting, well-thought-out trade offer because Monahan is struggling. Calgary really could will always like to have size on the wings. I mean, who wouldn't? Greenway is a young guy, but Monahan would be a pretty good filler guy and maybe be able to take his game to new levels with Evason as his coach. But I think Minnesota would shy away from it, first of all, because of salary. Also because Monahan never really seemed to come back off that injury to his wrist. So, yeah, all 3 of those picks in 2015. Senyshyn is not panning out in the minors. Zaboral is still playing. He's holding on. And then, yeah, if Greenway plays the way you want him to play, I would say that I would love that. But for a guy his size, he doesn't really play aggressive enough. Maybe Sutter would be able to get that out of him, though. He seems to be getting a lot out of a lot of players there. Jim Benning says Vancouver Canucks will make the playoffs. Okay. What else is he going to say? Klingberg for Robertson. I think they're gonna. I think they get more than that for Klingberg. Robertson. Well, I'm not a big Robertson guy, so that would be one of the reasons. And a conditional first. And how is Toronto going to work that cap? Greenway for Sherratt. That's interesting for sure. I mean, Minnesota certainly could use some. But again, we're going to get back to the cap space problem here. Ben Sherratt's a free agent. They wouldn't make that deal unless they know Ben Sherratt is going to sign. I don't think they're going to trade Greenway for a rental. So what does Ben Sherratt want on his new contract? Right now, he can make a case that he's a top pair defenseman. I don't think he is. But there might be somebody out there that at least gives Ben Sherratt $5 to $6 million a year. So we're back in the same cap space problem. Trading Robertson would be stupid. Well, let's take a look here. I'm not a big Robertson guy. But then again, I said that Toronto may not make the playoffs this year. And now I'm saying watch out for Toronto this year. And also I'm saying Sheldon Keefe should be up for the Adams this year. The way that team is gelling together, I think he's done an unbelievable job. But let's bring up the Leafs and see what Robertson's doing in the minors right now. Nicholas Robertson, 20 years old. He's only 20. He does have a lot of skill. Has he been injured or what? He's only played 2 games and has 2 assists. So, 20 years old, 5'9", putting up a point a game in the minors. There's still a lot of iffiness to him. Richie is playing better. I don't know if they'll be able to get, he's finding a role there in Toronto, not too bad. I mean, I don't think he's the best option you would want there. But I'm actually kind of liking the way he plays to free up room for his... He's learning how to be a guy that can help a lineup. Why do I always forget that word? I can't remember the word. Big nope. What's a big nope? Well, they would be able to go all in if they had cap space. That's the problem. I think they would love to do that. I'm not feeling confident on Boston. Florida hasn't been the same since Barkov went down. And Tampa, I like Tampa with Vasilevsky. I think Florida will be okay, but they're going to need Barkov to get back. And I would wish they would frickin' put Reinhart in the middle. I don't know why people, Buffalo and Florida both, are so morally opposed to putting him in the middle. Reinhart up the middle. Even though they got Barkov out, I better make sure. I think Toronto could do some damage to the way they're playing right now. Sometimes it doesn't even really matter that they're low on depth or whatever. That team is playing with an energy right now that is absolutely fantastic. Right, they're still not putting Reinhart in the middle, and I think that has to do with the fact that they kind of have to play Anton Lundell up the middle, I guess, because they want him to be a centerman down the road. And he can play so well on the wing as well. But I would love to see him playing with Huberdeau up the middle and Bennett. But I think they promised Bennett they'd play him up the middle when they got him from Calgary, and they don't want to go back on their word. I'm just guessing on that, but I think so. At this point, I think Sutter should get the Adams, unless Pittsburgh can make it, and then I still think it should be Sullivan. But Evison will probably be there every year. Sutter has turned that Calgary team around. I think Sutter really should get it, yeah. Yeah, Evison. Is Drew Doughty playing tonight? Well, that makes things interesting for that game. Tobin for Jake Allen? That's a pretty lateral move, Kyle. Both of those guys are about equal to each other. So Byfield is skating, but Doughty is going to play tonight. Wow, against Anaheim. The question is Anaheim... I think Anaheim's on a back-to-back. If they put Stolars in, I think I'm going to run with LA tonight. Lightning are playing Brian Elliott tonight. Well, I don't see why they would need that. I mean, they're playing Holtby tonight. I don't get it. I don't understand Rick Bonus's utilization of his goaltenders at all. I don't get it. I don't know why. Ottinger's their best goaltender. Like, he's their best goaltender. I suppose it's sort of like what maybe Philadelphia should have did with Carter Hart, I guess. He's just using him in the best situations, keeping him mentally strong, not wanting to overplay him. Maybe that's it. And if that's the case, then I guess that's why they brought Holtby in. They don't want to overplay their young goaltender. And apparently, I'm not a goaltender guy, but Ron Hextall felt the same way about Carter Hart, and it looks like he was right. Murray to Chicago. I don't think anybody's going to take Murray. I really don't. He's got to show well in the AHL for a while. And before anybody will touch that. I'm sure that the Sens would be all over that trade. They would take Murray for Lankinen in a heartbeat right now. I'm positive of that. I just don't see Chicago doing it. I think I see what you're talking about too. It's a joke trade because Murray would then be back with Fleury again. Aha, Lauren. Sorry, my dents. I pick up your humor too often because you're too brilliant. You're too brilliant for me, Lauren. Good hot take by Lauren. Yeah, you're thinking way ahead of me. I'm not catching up. I'm not picking up what you're putting down too often, Lauren. Bill Peters got fired in the KHL, really? Wow. I wonder if that was anything. Yeah, okay. Go Caps is here, so let's talk some Capitals. Tough game tonight, Go Caps. Tough game. I really don't know about this game. I haven't liked Florida's flow as of late, but this is a revenge game because Washington beat them 4-3 last game. And, I'm sure it feels like Florida was going to be the more determined team here. they really don't want to go down in like another game here. This is like, what's their record? They've lost a few in a row, haven't they? They lost 2 in a row. Bad loss against Seattle. And the one against, and then before that though, they had won 4 in a row against some pretty decent teams. But after Barkov went down, they don't seem to be the same. I haven't heard anything about that Peters thing. It might have just because the team is losing. The KHL fires coaches like nothing. Like it's nothing for them. Hudobin? Why? Okay, what am I missing about Hudobin on Montreal? What am I missing? What's the correlation there? Seeing Hudobin play for Tampa. What am I missing? I don't know. Give Ducharme a chance here to see what happens, I guess, is what they're probably going to do. But I'm pretty sure Gorton will get his own coach, yeah. Caps are first, yeah. They're winning with a pretty depleted roster, too. That's the thing. Like, they've got a lot of guys out. They got, like, Alexi Protas is playing top minutes. The thing is that everybody that they bring up is huge. You got Lars Eller is back, so that helps. They got so many big players. Big and fast is the whole thing. Like, it's basically, that's their MO. They're big and fast. You got Beck, Malin, Stin, or whatever. Michael Scarbosa got a goal last game. And Brett Leeson as your fourth line. None of those guys are really NHL caliber forwards, or at least haven't shown to be for enough of a time to think so. And then Hathaway, Dowd, and Hagelin. Dowd is back. But they've been really just flying with a lot of a roster that doesn't look like it should be doing it. I don't, okay. Oh, Ovechkin is a freak of nature. I agree. Total freak of nature. I bet you he'll still be a 4-step 40. Like, he looks like most players would love to be what Ovechkin is now at 25 years old. Like, he is absolutely insane. I don't think Waugh wants to be a Montreal Canadiens GM. I just did a video on that, by the way. You guys can go check it out. But Gorton is the general manager. They're not calling him that, but that's what he is. For reasons I admit I don't understand, they have to have a French-Canadian general manager. I don't know. You guys can tell me. I've been there for 6 months. I don't see how it's right. Why? They say it's a cultural thing, and I'm like, well, something's wrong with the culture. So, Waugh, if you remember, he was a coach for the Colorado Avalanche, and he didn't really take orders very well. He seems like a guy that needs to do it his way. And I just don't see him being like a puppet to Gorton there in Montreal. I don't see it. I think it'll either be Darche It'll probably be Darsh because there's another guy in Anaheim there, but I don't think he's going to want to take a puppet job. He's building a resume so he can have an actual job. To me, it feels like whoever gets that, that's why I think it's going to be Briere. He's working for the AHL franchise in Philadelphia. I think it's going to be Briere. And basically, he can learn from Gorton, but really, he's not making any decisions. He's just chiming in when he can, and he's learning on the job. That's what he would be doing. That's who I think they have to get for Montreal, is somebody that's learning on the job and is willing to basically step down and not say much, unless you're asked. Yeah, well, I mean, the thing about that, and this is going to be discussion, Mercer. Good point, by the way. Excellent point about Draisaitl. The thing that will always go down there, I think, in Edmonton with Draisaitl and McDavid is, and I don't know why this wasn't mentioned when it came to Gretzky as well, but would Draisaitl be able to do what he's doing if McDavid wasn't there? Because everybody's focused on McDavid and Draisaitl gets free reign to do whatever he wants. I'm not sure Draisaitl would put up the points he is if he was the guy on a team. And there's always going to be that question mark as long as the two are together. Now, that being said, I don't think Draisaitl cares. What I love most about Draisaitl is he wants to win, and that's it. He doesn't care about who's better than McDavid or who's evil. He doesn't care about any of that crap. That's what I love about him the most. All he cares about is winning. And I feel the same way about McDavid as well. I think they're both incredible teammates, even as much as how skilled they are, which is pretty amazing. Pretty amazing package of two players right there for sure. He does get fed by McDavid quite a bit, and he gets a lot of room that he might not get on another team. Like, for instance, look at a guy like Kopitar. If he would have had another guy, in the level of like a Draisaitl and McDavid, so he could have went out and did I think he would have got a lot better offensive numbers than he got, but he was always had to be the shutdown guy and everything, the Mr. Everything. Well, one of the most underrated of all time, I think, Kopitar, Hall of Famer. I guess he won't be totally underrated because he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I don't know. You think Kopitar would get as many points as Kucherov? Is that who you're saying? Oh, I think he'd still be amazing. Yeah, I just don't think he would have as many options as he does at the moment. But I mean, I'm not taking it. He would still be over a point a game player for sure. Point and a half, maybe. Well, I mean, he played with Curry, he played with Messier, Messier's pretty darn good. Got to be top 10 of all time. So, you're talking about Draisaitl? You think Draisaitl would get as many points as Kucherov if he played on his own without Draisaitl? So like 100-point player or something like that. About 100-point player. Sounds fair. He's going on like 140 now. Yeah, I think he would get about 140, 100. Any more trade requests out there you can look at? Oh, I didn't. Coyotes and Jets. I mean, what was the final shot total on that? 46-15. You get beat by Antoine Roussel. What do you say about that game? I mean, doesn't seem right. How many the problem I saw with that game was that they I don't know what it is about teams like when you're playing a team like the Coyotes, man, mix it up in the offensive zone. Pass it around, get fancy. There are some advantages when you're playing a team like that because like for the team, like for Arizona, for instance, the goaltender Velmko or whatever, he if he loses, nobody cares. He has no pressure on him whatsoever. He's expected to lose, so he can go out there and just stop shots with no pressure whatsoever. Yeah, they shot the puck right at him constantly all the time. And then when they did try to pick the corner, they pick it too much. It's the afraid to lose mentality. And you've seen it against Arizona. Seattle had it. People are afraid to say that they lost against Arizona. And you just got to go out and play, man. I guarantee you that's not going to happen with Minnesota tonight. Minnesota's going to crush that game. Oh yeah, that's the big argument, and most players will tell you that, like that played in that era, that they certainly would have been in better shape if they were playing today. Like all of those guys back then would have followed whatever it was that they needed to, for the most part, to be able to play today. I don't know if he would be that heavy. I don't think he'd be that heavy. He probably would be, I don't know, what was he, 170 at the time? I don't think he would be 210, no. No. Because, I mean, he wasn't that tall of a guy either, really. I think it'd be like that's why people compare Peterson to him. Because they have the same kind of build. I think it'd be something like that. Uh, 400 hockey player. Is he 6'1"? Jeez, he did. I met him and I didn't think he was that tall. I thought he was like 6 feet. That's it. What is this? Let's look it up. 6 feet. And that's probably generous. I think 6 feet's a little generous from what I remember of him when I met him. And I think they say he was 185 pounds. I'll tell you, when I saw him, when I met him, he was no 185. There's no freaking way. There was no way. And he didn't seem like, I'm 5'11", and I never felt like I was looking, I'm 5'10" and a half, and I didn't feel like I was looking up at him. I think that might be a little bit generous. But he could have bulked up a little bit. I don't know if it would have mattered. All I know is they would have been in better shape as far as tendon muscles, stretching, flexibility, all of those sort of things like that that they pay attention to today that they didn't pay attention to then. So I would say that. You're 6'3", 220, Devondra? Holy crap, dude. What? 6'3", 220. That is huge. My gosh. I just think that Gretzky was such an intelligent player that he would have been he would have been amazing today. Or it just would have been a different kind of amazing, that's all. 5'10", 211? Wow. I'm not too far. I'm about 5'10" and a half, 205. I was 220. I just lost 10 pounds. I was 290, actually. And then I went down to 180. Then I went up to 220. And now I'm on my way back down again to about 205. I'm going to get back down to 180 again. And then I'm going to bulk up. Oh, OV signed print. Nice. Sweet, Devondra. Yeah, that's the thing, is Gretzky could get by simply with an incredible hockey IQ. By far the highest hockey IQ. Him and Mario Lemieux, I would even say more than McDavid. Him and Mario Lemieux might be the highest hockey IQs I've ever seen. And I still think you could make a case that Mario Lemieux was better than Gretzky. I really do. A more natural talent anyways. But he played so much time in the clutch and grab era, it's hard to judge. But their hockey IQ was off the charts. Wayne Gretzky's hockey IQ was off the charts. It was incredible. The backhand passes he used to make and all of that, it was outrageous. Caps 18-1 yesterday at Stations. What's that? Mike Bossy? Yeah, I mean, he potted a lot in a very short time. It's you might, yeah, him or Ovechkin. Different eras again. Mike Bossy had a little easier time getting to the front than getting to the spots than Ovechkin would have. But, I mean, Mike Bossy was insane. His goals per game was outrageous. Well, I'll tell you what, if McDavid could skate like he does now back then, but I doubt he'd be able to skate like he does now back then. So it's so hard to say, but he would have went through everybody at the speed that he's at, that he can skate now. Back in the 80s, like, nobody would have been able to touch him. Guys like Tenorti and Hatcher, Darian Hatcher, he would have blew by them like they were standing still backwards. Like, by the time they turned around to try to do something, he would have already scored. Like, no way. That would have been disgusting. The sticks, yeah. Yeah, it's a big difference too. Skates too, I mean, I think the biggest difference is conditioning, athletic strength, all of those sort of things like that. Like they basically didn't spend any time in the gym back then. Their main way of staying in shape was playing, and that was it. And I mean, now these guys have legs like freaking huge, and balance and coaching, and it's people didn't back then. Players didn't play in private schools as much as they are now. They didn't have private coaches like they do now. Maybe he could be, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I wouldn't put anything past Mike Bossy. His shot was insane. But I'd say Matthews is pretty damn close, man. Early Cup predictions? Sure. I never thought I'd say this, but I'm putting Toronto in there. Like right now, if you want a good future that'll pay, like what's the futures for right now? What kind of futures can you get? See if we can find that. Oh, that's right. This is American. Toronto Maple Leafs are getting plus 1,000 right now. I'm not saying Toronto's going to win, but I think for plus 1,000, that's a pretty good. Put a little bit on that. Well, I mean, it's all in fun, but if you're asking me right now, the team with the killer groove or energy would be the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think they are playing with an incredible energy right now. They're playing with the kind of energy that can win a cup. They're playing for each other in a way that I would throw I'd throw a little bit on them. And I didn't think I would say that. $18-1 is not a bad play too. Is it 18-1? Let's see. Because I remember last year I was saying that the Caps were getting okay, I got 16-1. Leafs, 11-1 for the Leafs. Vegas Golden Knights, I don't like that. You might want to, how about the Calgary Flames at 2000 at 20-1? New York Islanders for the comeback at 50-1. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if the Leafs can carry it through. But, Florida's probably not getting love right now. And you got to figure when Barkov and them come back, what are they giving them? Oh, no, Florida is getting still high. They haven't. I like Calgary at 20-1. Calgary at 20-1 is a good possibility. You think Trotz might have lost the team? I think the team lost itself because it's bagged. They had that. They made it to the semifinals 2 years in a row, and they don't have very good replacement players. They've been playing those veterans, that same lineup every night for like 2 years, because they've never been comfortable with their replacement players, and they never went out and got replacement players. And I think they're taxed. Maybe after with the Olympic break and everything, that'll be enough to get them back on track again. Yeah, they're just tired and worn out, I think. Yeah. And I think that has to go on Lamoriello in a lot of ways. But on the same note, they never did do a rebuild the way a team is supposed to. This is the reason why I didn't like what Philadelphia did. They're too thin in their prospect pool. So when they get injuries, they don't have anybody to replace them. They have to overplay their vets. Kings play like peasants. What do you say that for? Is that good or bad? Sharks play like sharks? Well, that's good. Oh, you're just not happy with your team right now. Well, with Doughty back tonight, I think they got a good chance against Anaheim, who looks like they've taken a step back since they had those couple wins in a row. Coming back to, yeah, the Canucks played well last night, though. I thought that they played with a lot of heart the last four games or so. I still don't think the green is the problem there at all. I think a poorly put together lineup is a problem for Vancouver. What other games were last night? Yeah, that Jets game was aggravating to watch, especially since I had the Jets. It was the only game I had wrong. Yesterday I had, get this, I had Kraken in the over. I had the Canucks in the under. I had the Flames and the under. And I had the Coyotes to win. If it wasn't for the Coyotes, I had the Jets to win. If it wasn't for the Jets, I would have ran the gauntlet yesterday. Freaking nah. And I even had the Coyotes under 1.5 and the under 2.5 team total. The Flames game, I'll tell you what, that Pittsburgh Penguins team, like, is there a team that can hold on better than Pittsburgh Penguins? Hey, Danny Pearlo in the house. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Yeah, I think they've been playing with a lot of heart. It's just a bad, poorly put together franchise. And I just did a video on that as well. Go check out the video I did. And I basically talked up. There is talk right now of them trading Horvat. Freaking Horvat. Are you kidding me? You don't trade Horvat ever in your lifetime. I think we were talking about that yesterday. Oh, Minnesota's going to crush Arizona on a back-to-back. The only thing I don't like is they're putting Kakinen in. But even at that, they're going to crush Arizona today. Crush them. Arizona can't do anything with that offensive, how they play in the offensive zone. Everybody wants Horvat. That would be I think that they're putting Horvat out there simply to see what everybody is willing to give up off their roster, and then you have to. If they trade Horvat, I mean, it's their own fault for not firing Benning. If they trade Horvat, if they drop the ball on Horvat, who was very happy to be in Vancouver, from what I understand. I haven't heard one single thing about even a hint of him not wanting to be there. If he all of a sudden has decided he's not going to re-sign in Vancouver, that is Vancouver's problem. Because when he first went there, there was no doubt about it. He took the captain. He was going to stay in Vancouver. And now we're hearing a whole bunch of things about players that used to play for the Canucks, saying that it was a horrible, the management there treats you like crap and all that stuff like that. So it's on them if that's the case. What's going on? Like, you're going to trade Peterson? No way I trade Demko, or everybody else, but I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to, if you trade Peterson, he's going to go somewhere else and blow everybody out of the water again. I can't see that guy not getting back to what he was. projected to be. It just, that's like the biggest question mark right now that there is. What the heck is going on with Peterson? What happened? He was looking like a 100-point player. And now he looks like a perimeter guy that doesn't know when to shoot. He has no confidence whatsoever. He doesn't do much of anything. I agree. Yeah, team kind of deserves it. What's wrong with Boston? My take, anyways, is which is all my takes, by the way. Just because I'm saying something here, it's just my take. Defense isn't good enough. Defense isn't mobile enough, and not enough depth. DeBrusque not being able to play in their top 9 really hurt them a lot. I know that Off the Wall John, good buddy Off the Wall John there, doesn't think I don't know, somebody said that he thinks they should just roll with Coyle, but I don't agree. I think they need a second line center. I don't think Coyle's the answer there. So they have no second line center, really, a true second line center. Yeah, Velarde, yeah. Well, Velarde needs to play the wing, but go the way of... That would be a tragic thing because they're supposed to be in the middle of a rebuild. That would be like Buffalo again, all over again. They're supposed to be in the middle of a rebuild, and now you're going to do a tear down, rip it down rebuild. But on the same note, I don't know if you can do anything else. I don't know how you're going to... Do you think somebody else is going to make the same mistake Benning did with Ekman Larson? Yeah, Cody Ceci out. Yeah, we talked about that a little early, John. It's possible the Oilers might have to do what the Islanders are doing and take a couple games off. I mean, that's 4 defensemen off your lineup for COVID. That's asking a little too much. If they get any more, you're almost hoping that they get some more here. Well, that would be a terrible move, but I could see Benning doing something like that. You want Barry involved, I'll give you Hyman and Barry for Horvat all day. I like Hyman, but he's a winger. Barry's trash. Horvat could probably play better defense than Barry. So, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that for sure. And then they'd have another small, all the same players. You'd have a Hyman, Hoglander, Garland, all the same kind of players all on one team. Nino and Teravainen. Fairish. Teravainen's so underrated. I would. I mean, if you're going to have to trade him, that's probably right around what you're looking for, is something like that. The only thing is I don't know how that works for their cap, but Tyler Myers is not very good. And that's the thing is they talk about Tyler Myers like he's the number 1 center there or something, or number 1 defenseman there. He may have to be traded sooner or later. I don't know if I'd want Nino Niederreiter, though. So many question marks. Why does he consistently have to be traded all the time? Why can't he stick with the team? Cece's not a number 1 defender, no. He's barely a 5'6", I would say, somewhere around there. I'd probably want somebody other than Teravainen, and they need to build up their defense. So throw me, and Carolina at this point probably doesn't want to give up any more defensemen. I'm going to be right back, guys. Sorry about that. What's the pick of the day? Well, you really should get over to this. But I'll give you my free pick of the day, even though I did a video on it. I have a video for the free pick of the day, but I'll give you the free pick of the day. And that is the Columbus Blue Jackets puck line over the Nashville Predators. So let's look at the games for tonight. We got 45 minutes. And we start with the Red Wings and the Bruins. Now, we haven't even talked about that. Marchand with the slew foot. And he's out. 3 games, gone. I don't know how many chances this guy has. How many chances does Marchand have? Shouldn't at this point, after all the incidents he has, shouldn't that, like, that was a pretty bad slew foot. Lambeau. Yes, Lambeau. I'm so sorry. My brain went on holidays. It was Carlos Lambeau, right? Right. I would rather have O'Rourke, but that was a fair offer, I thought. I thought that was a fair offer. Lambeau, Greenway, and Dumba, I thought that was a fair offer. The problem with that deal is another guy who can't play defense for Vancouver. He's not very good at defense. You have no Marchand. Allmark is going to be playing. I've been trying to find out. Detroit drags their heels with their goaltending confirmations. Really ticks me off, to tell you the honest truth. I'm thinking it's not going to be Nedeljkovic, but they're on a back-to-back. If I remember correctly, aren't they playing Montreal tomorrow? And if that's the case, they'll probably play. Nedeljkovic has been their better goaltender. I think it'll be Nedeljkovic tonight. That being the case, I kind of like Detroit here. With no Marchand, and, you know, Detroit's a pretty fast team. And that defense for Boston is not very mobile. Wouldn't surprise me. It's a tough call, but it wouldn't surprise me. Where the heck are you guys? Here we go. Yeah, like he should have got more than that by now. Like, holy crap, how many times has he been suspended? He must be just a great talker or something. I don't know. Talk his way out of anything. I doubt they would trade Dumba for Horvat too, and that is stupid. I don't know what Dumba has done to make himself a holy idol for Minnesota, but they have protected him through 2 expansion drafts. They gave up Alex Tuck. They have gone through hell and high water to keep Dumba for reasons I will never know why. I don't think Dumba's a bad defenseman, but is he a defenseman that you got to give up guys like Tuck and stuff to make sure you don't lose him? I don't see it. I imagine Boston's going to make some trades, yeah. Certainly DeBrusk. He's asking for it. Finally. They probably should. I don't know what they've been waiting for with him. Well, yeah. If you did straight across Dumba for Horvat, that would be horrible. That would be a horrible trade. But it was the deal was Dumba, Lambos, who is looks like a solid defensive defenseman, and Greenway. You know, that maybe, but was it for Horvat? I still don't think I'd do that for Horvat. Oh, JT Miller. That was for JT Miller. Okay. Yeah, that seemed like a fair trade. But Dumba for Horvat, I mean, that would be ridiculous. Then Benny could go into Milbury category, I think, if he did something like that. I think if he did a Dumba for Horvat trade, you could put him in the Milbury category of terrible general managers. All right. So far, what do we got for the? We got 2 people for the Wings so far tonight. Looking at lineups, like I said, Boston without Marchand. If there's a spot here for the Wings, this would be it, right? I mean, against Boston? Where the heck is Boston? Boston. Really? They got $3 million in cap room? Okay, yeah, they're definitely going to do something. So they're putting Taylor Hall on that line with Bergeron and Pasternak. And then Foligno, Coyle, and Smith. Like Detroit should be able to handle that second line. Noshik, Frederick, and Kuhlman. And then Jake DeBrusk is going to play tonight, apparently, with Haula and Lazar. I don't know what that guy did to get, anyways. Grzelcyk, Carlo. Defense is the way it's always been, which isn't that great. It really feels like Detroit could take that game. Detroit, everybody's taking Detroit. Wow. The Rod Brindamore, Daryl Sutter, and Dallas Eakins. Well, Anaheim would have to make the playoffs for that, for Dallas Eakins. But at the moment, I mean, you could definitely make a case for that. I still got to think Everson should be in there. Sullivan. How about DeBoer? DeBoer has had like half his lineup out. And what about Larson in Columbus? Nobody expected Columbus to be where they are right now. So I think there's a lot still out there that have a chance. Evison should be in there. I think Larson should be in there for Columbus. I know, you just don't like DeBoer. You just have a hate on for DeBoer. The fact they lost Stone, they lost Pacioretty, they lost Carlson, Martinez. I mean, how many more players do they need to lose and still be in the playoff race before you got to admit that DeBoer's doing a pretty good job? If Minnie manages to take the division, yeah. Keefe for Toronto, there's a good one too, Weichel. Never thought you'd be saying that, would you, Weichel? Keefe for Toronto. But, yeah, okay, we got Detroit. I'll take a look at Detroit. So Detroit's going to answer back with a lineup that has, like, their top line is really good. Bertuzzi, Larkin, and Raymond. And then the second line of Fabry, Suter, and they're playing Giovanni Smith there. With Nemeshnikov, Rasmussen, and Erne. And Philippe Zadina has been demoted to the fourth line there. This is getting scary here for Detroit with the Philippe Zadina, who they passed Hughes up to pick him, and he just has never got it going. He's got a big shot off the off wing on the power play, but besides that, he just doesn't. He doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it. I can't put it in any other way. Defense is a bit of an issue, but it is for Boston too. And Nedeljkovic should be in. I could definitely see Detroit winning that game. Okay, next. Capitals versus Panthers. This is a big game, man. Big game. Capitals got a bounce back. I got a revenge game here. Barkov won't be in. Duclair is also injured. Capitals are pretty beat up themselves, but they keep on flying. What do you guys got for this? What do you got for the Panthers? And the Panthers win that game, you figure. You're picking Capitals. Boston, I'm sure Boston's going to do some stuff here to try to improve that lineup, but I don't know. I think also there's a good possibility that they think they're just not good enough. And you could see some big changes in Boston. You take the Capitals. We got 2 for the Capitals. John Cooper, yeah, he'll always be there, but probably never win it because his team is too good. And you could make a really good case for that because his team isn't as good as it has been, right? Weichel, that's a very good point. Why not Cooper? He lost how many players off that lineup and they're still doing really, really well? I know why not Cooper, because it's always going to be Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky is the reason. Vasilevsky is the reason. Probably not fair, but it's the way it is. I don't think Taylor Hall's going anywhere. So we got 2 for Washington, 1 for Florida. And that's it. Nobody else is putting their hat in the ring. I don't know about that game. I'm gonna say Florida. I'm backing in between, but I'm fading it. But I'm gonna say Florida just because they're home and it's in a revenge game. But it wouldn't surprise me at all the way Washington's playing for them to take any game right now. So Mercer's got Washington. So we'll see if we're right about that. Washington. Next. Oh yeah, I didn't even look at their rosters. We got time. Any new injuries that we don't know about? It's going to be Samsonov versus Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky has been playing very well. When Washington won that game 4-3, did they have... Were they up against Bobrovsky or were they up against... Let's take a look here. It should tell you here. Yeah, they did. They beat Bobrovsky too. And I think they had Samsonov in net. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty impressive. And Washington's doing it without like a lot of players, like like I said. So Florida's roster should win this game. I think, flat out. Florida's roster should win that game. But it wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. Next, San Jose and New Jersey. I know that Reimer is in for San Jose, and he is hot. Crazy hot right now. New Jersey should go back with Blackwood, but again, they like to drag their heels to tell you, like if Bernier's in, and I remember I was all about Bernier, he's going to win the Vezina this year. He hasn't been that great. Blackwood is in. I think they got a really good chance, but I mean, this almost feels like a tie. San Jose's been winning games fairly consistently. New Jersey's a young team. What do you guys got here? New Jersey and San Jose wins. Okay. Ovi prop to score. Taylor Hall is overrated. I don't know if he's overrated right now. I think most people have soured on Taylor Hall. Devandra's got the Sharks. Weichel's got the Sharks. Everybody's got the Sharks. No love for New Jersey. Barlow's got the Sharks. No love for New Jersey at all. Sharks are on the road, you know. How long have they been on the road for? They haven't been on the road that long. This is the second game on the road. New Jersey has New Jersey has been playing well. They beat Chicago 2-0. San Jose lost to Toronto 4-1 at home. They beat Ottawa 6-3 and a really tired Carolina team 2-1. New Jersey beat a really tired Philadelphia Flyers team 5-2, lost to Nashville and Minnesota, and had a killer win against Tampa Bay. I believe that was at home. I don't know why I like New Jersey here, but I don't like either team. I think it's a tie. I think it's a tie. It feels like a tie to me. You'll show love to the Devils? Okay. I'm going to take the Devils too. I think I fade the game, but it feels like a tie. We'll see if it's a tie. They've been, when they're playing with speed and pace and keeping that going, they're a tough team. Pavel Zacha, 12 points, 8 goals in 19 games. Nico Hischier is proving to be more of a number 2 center in this league. They could really use Jack Hughes back. Kaukonen, Graves, Hamilton, Siegenthaler, Subban, Smith. I think it really depends on who they play in net. Let me see San Jose. San Jose has got everybody in the lineup right now. 2. So Meyer, Couture, Dahlin. Dahlin is back. Jonathan Dahlin is back. I didn't know that. Barabanov, Hurdle, and Balsers. Yeah. Nieto, Benino, Greg, Noah. Wow, so feels like a tie to me. Jack Hughes is back tonight? What? I didn't hear about that. Are you suggesting that or are you saying that? That'll change everything. He is back tonight. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now what do you do? He's going to be rusty though. Man, oh man, oh man. He is back tonight. Jack Hughes is in. Does that change anything for anybody? PK Subban's been okay. He's just a 5'6" guy, that's all. Jack Hughes being back, I may just throw a little bit at that. That is Hughes for the Devils, yeah. What's that paying? $175. Probably got to lean the Sharks for that. Anyways, whatever. Arizona, Minnesota. Is there any chance? Minnesota should absolutely crush Arizona tonight. They're on a back-to-back. Vejmelka is not playing. Jeff Skinner's on fire. Yeah, I know. Who would have thought that? Last year, if you would have said Jeff Skinner is on fire, the immediate thing people would have thought is that he was literally on fire. Like that would have been the only possibility it could have been. He literally would have had to have been in a burning building. And now you say Jeff Skinner is on fire and it actually has a rational thought towards it. It's pretty amazing. Jack is going to be hungry, but he hasn't played in a while. I don't know. That's quite the game. I'm gonna have fun watching that game. Minnesota by 5. Yeah, must have legit had fire on him at the moment. Thought he had 7 goals. Maybe he does he have 8? Did he score 2 last night? Did he score 2 last night? He did. He scored 2. Holy crap. Crazy. Wow. Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I mean, there's a guy. Granato should get Coach of the Year, even if they don't make the playoffs just for that alone, I would say. He's a hell of a coach. Yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. You cannot take anything away from Granato right now. There is not a single guy on that team that isn't playing at the top of their abilities right now. He's getting better. He's getting better than anyone. He's getting almost everybody that is on Buffalo is having a career year. That is pretty freaking amazing. Totally changed the energy of that team just like that. Amazing. Great coach. Okay, we're not going to talk too much about that Minnesota game. Everybody's taking Minnesota. They're on a back-to-back. The only chance the Coyotes have is Kakinen is in net, but he's good enough to stop enough shots where that shouldn't be a problem. I usually would go... Oh, Brent Clark is not invited. Wow. Maybe personal reasons or something? That's weird. Where did you get that from, by the way? Just noticed here, Louis DeBrusk is drawing trade interest. Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames, St. Louis Blues, and get this, Lauren, Carolina Hurricanes have expressed interest in Louis DeBrusk. I don't know why, but Louis DeBrusk to Calgary makes sense to me for some reason. Minnesota's got to beat the Coyotes tonight. They got to absolutely destroy them. Everybody has been good in Buffalo. That's the thing. That's the amazing thing. Everybody has been good in Buffalo. Better than they have ever been, anyways. A career year as a means to get traded to get out of Buffalo. That's the motivation, yeah. Calgary makes sense. Louis DeBrusk just shows up on Pro Hockey Rumors that there's 4 teams that are interested in Louis DeBrusk. The Edmonton Oilers, the Calgary Flames, the St. Louis Blues, and the Carolina Hurricane. Carolina, I can kind of understand. He's that big guy they've been looking for. St. Louis, I don't see how they could be in it. I think Calgary makes the most sense of the bunch for some reason, and I don't really know why. It just seems like they think that Sutter would be able to take a guy like him and turn him into something. Did I say Louis? Jake DeBrusk. Yeah, Jake DeBrusk. Did I say Louis? That's his father. Sorry about that. Might have said Louis. Jake DeBrusk. Yeah. Jake DeBrusk. Louis is his father. Louis DeBrusk is his father. Sorry about that. Meant to say Jake. Louis DeBrusk is his father. His father played for the Edmonton Oilers, is analyst for the Edmonton Oilers organization right now. Yeah. So I meant to say Jake, but I said Louis. Yeah. That's why I think the Edmonton connection is there. I could see it, but I just don't know. You got cap issues everywhere there. St. Louis, like everybody. So there's going to have to be a player coming back. Maybe Cassian. But, I mean, he's not going to replace a lot of things Cassian is, so. Well, his dad is in Edmonton now, not Boston. Or maybe his dad doesn't want him to play in Boston. Is that what you're trying to say? Maybe. I'm not sure. So. Oh, his daughter's Cami Granado? I didn't even know that. Wow. Cami Granado is like one of the greatest female hockey players of all time. I didn't even know that was... Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, she's a scout with the Kraken and yeah, and a damn good one from what I understand. I think Calgary makes the most sense. I just don't know what... Let me take a look at Calgary here. I'm not sure who they would give up to get them. They do have a little bit of cap space. A little bit, not much. What do they got? They have... Oh, no, they only have 300,000 cap space. So if they were to do a deal, it would have to be pretty much dollar for dollar. Maybe Zadorov. Maybe Zadorov and pick or something like that, because Zadorov's not happy in Calgary. I don't see how that helps Boston all that much because they already have a whole bunch of guys like that. But if you gave Zadorov and a pick, where would DeBrusk fit? He's a lefty, right? That's the other thing is they don't really need a left winger. Can he play right as well? No, he's a left winger. Dylan Dubé, but I mean, they really got to believe that they can get this guy back to where they figured, get him to where he was supposed to be. Ron Frugal as hell Francis. Yeah, the Kraken are turning things around. I mean, they're playing. I think they found some good spots too. They played against some tired teams. They've been fortunate but they have been playing pretty aggressive, more aggressive than they were before. Definitely playing better defensively. Oddly enough, doing so without Giordano in the lineup. Yeah, Sheldon Keefe did play in the NHL. Yeah. Denny Barlow, there you go. What was that about, Denny? I still think that I still think Ron's gonna trade off those players and trade off some players for some draft picks there, no matter what really happens, unless they do like a crazy turnaround and happen to be in the playoffs or something. But I don't even think Ron wants that. I think Ron wants to trade them all. What team did Sheldon Keefe play for off the top of my head? Tampa Bay. Sheldon Keefe played for Tampa Bay, I believe. I know that wasn't the only team, but it's the one that pops up in my head. Oh, is that right? Is going to be playing what? We got to finish off these picks here. We talked about Nebraska now. Okay, next one, Nashville, Columbus. And this is another one of those toss-up games where I'm not sure. Merzlikins versus Saros. I think Saros is getting tired, though. My gosh, they've been playing him a lot. They haven't even put him in here as the goaltender yet, but let me refresh this again. Yeah, it's still not Saros. Columbus is playing really well. Nashville is kind of trending on the opposite direction right now. Columbus, yeah. Oh, Joshua Slavin got a call up? He wrinkled his face up. That's John for you. Yeah. No. Yeah. Columbus for you. I like Cammy. Oh. Yeah, Cammy. I mean, it's a great hockey. I didn't even know that Cammy was his daughter. That's amazing. Talk about a great hockey family right there. Oh, he's going to be playing for the Blackhawks. Wow, cool. Let's see. Chicago Blackhawks. Let me bring them up. Who else? What do you got? Nashville or Columbus out there? I'm going to look at Chicago while you guys are thinking about that. Was he some sort of an emergency pickup or what? I don't see him anywhere here. Your boy scored a shorty for the Kraken. Oh, Tanev? Susie. Susie, yeah. Maybe they'll start playing him more. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't even know why the Wild let Susie go. I mean, Preds, 2 for the Jackets, 2 for the Preds, and I got the tie. So I guess it's a tie. I think it's a tie. But if you twist my arm, I'll go Columbus. So. All right, next. Tampa Bay versus St. Louis. Tampa Bay is inexplicably putting Elliott in. Are they in a back-to-back? I was going to check that out. I don't think they are in a back-to-back. They're putting Elliott in against Binnington. And I think that's almost like a slap in the face. I think they're trying to throw Binnington off, which isn't a bad move to do to a kid like Binnington, who's a cocky guy. To kind of say, oh yeah, we don't need to put our best goaltender against Binnington. We can beat him. That's not a bad move, actually, except for the fact that Elliott's not very good. It would be a good move, a better move, if Elliott was better than he was. Oh, okay. So they're going to be playing a home and home. Tampa hasn't played. They're going to be playing a home and home. Weird. Why are they putting him in there? Yeah, Susie, I got it. I don't know. Okay, what do you got with Tampa and Devondra's got Columbus. So Tampa, okay, they played Minnesota last. They lost with Vasilevsky in net. And now they're going to play against St. Louis. And they're going to put Elliott in against St. Louis. It seems like a really odd spot to put Elliott in. Anyways, this is another one. This is really tough to decide what I like and what I don't like. Tampa Bay is without Joseph Point. St. Louis is without Perron. Bozak. I think they're trying to throw off Binnington. I think they're trying to put Binnington off his game. That's what I think is happening here. Because he's such a cocky kid that they're kind of saying like, oh yeah, it's just Binnington. We'll throw our backup in. Tampa. You didn't have a choice? I think you could have traded Dumba, got some pretty good. Maybe there's no value for Dumba out there. I think that's the problem. I think the main problem is there isn't enough value in the league. Dumba's a social media hound, stuff like that, and a lot of teams don't like those kind of guys. I think maybe it has something to do with that. But with Elliott and net, I'm not sure who to take in this game. I'm going to lean Tampa because I think this move of putting Elliott in may just throw Binnington off. I think when Binnington is pissed off, if he's offended and pissed off, you can beat him. You take down his confidence. If you can, like, get him... I don't think Benny... See, to me, arrogance does not mean confidence. Arrogance means insecurity. And I think they're putting Elliott in to piss him off, to make him feel insecure about himself. To basically say, that's just Bennington. We'll put in our backup against him. And then they got to play him again at home. And in 2 days. So then Bennington would be up against Vasilevsky. So if they can beat St. Louis with Elliott in net tonight, imagine the advantage they're going to have at home with Vasilevsky in net. So why don't you play Vasilevsky both? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it and they figure Vasilevsky needs rest somewhere, so they're going to give it to him here. Maybe, I don't know. Peter Mrazek comes back tomorrow. Okay, we'll see how that turns out. Like I said, the energy of that team right now, I don't even know if you can make a wrong move. That team is playing with such good energy. So we got Tampa. Nobody got the Blues. Nobody's taking the Blues. You got to remember who's out for Tampa. That's the thing. If they had a roster like Joseph is out, he's been really big for them. They're going to have guys on the roster like Alex Burley is going to play top line right. Gabriel Forte is going to play. Corey Perry might have to play top line minutes. And St. Louis, I think St. Louis has a better offense. I got to go with the defense. And then, I don't know, Brian Elliott, I don't like it. I have a pick. I have something on this game, but the side ain't it. The Blues 4-3. Oh, that's interesting. I have no faith in Elliott. That's what it really comes down to. But then I don't have faith in the Blues right now either. So it's a very tough game to figure what to do there. Next, Stars in Carolina. And Carolina's without half of their defense. However, Dallas likes to throw in something here, and they put Holtby in now. Holtby's going to be playing in that. Carolina's going to be playing Anderson, who has been playing fantastic, which makes up with, I would have to imagine, makes up with for some of the defense. That actually may not be that bad. Lejoux has played well in the AHL. And Chatfield, I mean, he has playoff experience. The thing is he's not a very good skater. They're probably not going to play him that much. So they're probably going to be playing their top four a lot here. Carolina is. Holtby always has Carolina's number. Okay, I didn't know that. Oh yeah, in Washington. So I guess that's why. It's that Washington connection. He knows the team. I think it's going to be a tough game against Carolina. I'm actually kind of leaning Dallas on this one. Jack Hughes signs 4-year deal. Really? Wow, you come up with this stuff fast, dude. Extend Jack Hughes. They locked him up to an 8-year extension. $8 million a year for 8 years for Jack Hughes. I think he'll probably play that. Play his way to or above that contract. It's not a bad deal. Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go with Dallas, kind of. This is like really hard cards. We got. It's 3 o'clock already. Let's get to the rest of these games quick. New Jersey signing, that'll bring energy. I'm going back to that. I'm going with New Jersey now because I just think that's going to bring a great energy to that team. They're going to come out flying. I've liked the way they've skated. San Jose, yeah, I'm going to say New Jersey wins that now. I'm going to say New Jersey wins that. Final game. Anaheim, Los Angeles. Doughty back. There's a whole bunch of stuff that's happening with that. Doughty, like people are going in and out of LA's roster like crazy. Grunstrom, Elias Anderson, Moore. Not a huge fan of that. Lemieux, what's Lemieux? Lemieux didn't get anything? Wait a second. Did Lemieux not get anything at all for his biting incident? What happened with that? Pearlo picking Carolina. Okay, cool. Lawrence taking the Ducks. Where did I miss that? Lemieux didn't get anything for the biting incident at all? Okay, all I heard is, why do they have him on cap friendly? When is he supposed to be talking? No, it's scheduled for Tuesday, so he's not going to be in the lineup. Why do they got him on cap friendly? That's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I know that there's a lot more to that than... I haven't looked at the whole thing, but I imagine Brady Tkachuk is not, like, innocent in all of that. I can tell you that, right? But Lemieux already has a reputation. I'm pretty sure he's going to be gone. Doughty, Anderson, Edler, Roy, Bjornfurt, Mata. I like that a lot better. Ah, man. I was all over. I think part of the reason why I'm having a tough time with this is I was all over saying that LA was going to have a great year this year. And they really haven't. Oh, that's right. Have they actually came out and said whether Stolars or Gibson is going to be in net? No, they didn't tell you. So, I don't know. I'm gonna say Anaheim too, I guess. All right, that's my full 42, I guess. You're picking LA? Yeah, okay. I don't know. Like, it sounds like if he's got a hearing, and it's not till Tuesday, it's going to be 5 games or more. Because he's already got a reputation, so... Samsonov versus Bobrovsky, yes. Yeah, okay, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk about these games and everything else that happened and all of that. This was good times like always. You guys are amazing. Thanks for always coming in here. Enjoy it. It's my favorite time of the day. See you tomorrow. Okay, bye.